Alright, we'll be doing the last problem now. So in this one, we're going to be finding the maximum value for y equals negative x squared plus 2x plus 7. Alright, so let's rewrite this first. Alright, so from here, we're going to get rid of the 7. And we're going to subtract 7 on both sides to do that. Which leaves us with y minus 7 is equal to negative x squared plus 2x. Alright, and this a has to be positive right here. So we need to factor this negative out. So when we factor this out, it's going to look like this. Minus 2x. Remember that this also changes. So now, let's see here. Now we can complete the square for this portion right here. Alright. And in this case, our b is negative 2. Let's go ahead and circle that. So we're going to work with this. So we have b over 2 to the power of 2. So we have negative 2 divided by 2 to the power of 2. Negative 2 divided by 2 is equal to negative 1 squared is equal to positive 1. So here's where it gets a little tricky. So now we need to plug it back into this. So y minus 7, let's just rewrite this first. It's going to get a little tricky, so watch carefully. So we're going to add this positive 1 right here. Right? But notice that we have a negative up here. And because there's a negative in front, we're not going to add a positive 1 on the left side actually. We're going to add a negative 1. You might be wondering, why are we doing that? Well, notice that when we multiply this negative out to this positive 1, right, when we distribute it, this will be equal to negative 1, right? So that means we'll need to add negative 1 to the left side as well. Whatever you do to the right side has to be done to the left side. So now we can factor this. Okay. And notice that we had negative 1. So when we factor this, it's going to look like this. X minus 1 squared. And then on the left side, we're left with y minus 8. Alright, so now what we can do here is we still have this negative and this 2 that we need to deal with. So now we're going to figure out how we can get rid of this. And we're going to do this by getting the square root of it. Right? Actually, let's just go ahead and do it right here. So we can just square root this whole thing. And we have to do that to both sides. Oh, my bad, actually. We don't need to square root it. We're trying to find the vertex form for this one. So now, we'll just add this 8 to both sides. Plus 8. And this is our vertex form. We'll write that down here. And from here, we can figure out some pretty useful information. Because this is negative up here, this is our a. So that means a is equal to negative 1. If there's nothing written, we assume that it's 1. So it's an a equals negative 1. And that means that our parabola is going to be opening downwards. Right? Which means that we're going to have a maximum value. And what is this maximum value? Well, remember that This is H, and this is K. Oh, I know something I did wrong here. This should be -1, not positive. Let's fix that real quick. X minus 1. And because it's -1, that means we have a positive H. So that means 1, 8. And remember, our max and min are going to be the y value of our vertex. So that means this 8 right here is going to be our maximum value. Okay.